All right, everybody, what's going on? Thank you for watching this video. What I want to teach you all today is the best way, well, most effective way, in my opinion, which has worked for myself and the people who I coach in this business, on how to skip trace. If y'all don't know me, my name is Joe Green. I teach people how to launch their businesses in the unclaimed funds world. We do tax surplus, state funds, mortgages. We do all those great things, but really we're just a bunch of entrepreneurs who want to spend more time with our family, make a good income to where we can travel the world and just live the good life. All right, but I want to go ahead and share some of the things I see people do wrong. And I identify these things with people who are coming through my course. And they always have some of the same questions in the very beginning. My skip trace sucks. I got like 5 different skip trace websites and I keep getting the wrong numbers. Joe, I can't get a hold of anyone. Nobody will pick up. Well, we're going to fix that. Okay, so number one, you need to have good calling software. I highly discourage you from using your own personal cell phone number. So they all have these burner phone apps and everything. I use Nurture Ninja, and it integrates with a system that's called Twilio. So Twilio is where you can buy numbers for like $1, right? You buy them for $1. I think you have to load your account with like $10. As of this video, it's $10. It could be more, could be less. I don't think any specials. I'm not affiliated with that company. But when I got with Twilio, it was like $10. So that's the minimum that you got to keep inside your account. So when you go below $10, it just recharges. So it always keeps you at a good, healthy balance. You can get multiple numbers. So like, let's say you work in California and you get like 1 or 2 California area codes. And then you decide, you know what, next week I'm gonna work Florida. Well, you're gonna wanna get some like pretty prominent, area codes in Florida to where you get the number to where when people see that phone number ringing, they are familiar with it and they're not gonna ignore you, okay? So that could be your number one problem. It's probably not your skip tracing website. Maybe those people are, maybe it's the right phone number and they're just ghosting you because you just sound like a telemarketer or you sound like a spam caller and they just don't wanna deal with you. And then you got a phone number from Missouri, but you're calling someone in Florida. They're like, get out of here. Okay, so by doing the method that I teach in my course, I show people how to align their business to where they're calling people's phone calls and it seems like it's someone local. I'm more willing to answer a local call than an out-of-town call. Okay, so that's just me. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the whole skip tracing because that's part of the process is having someone willing to answer the phone. So the next part of it is getting quality software. There's a lot of free websites that are somewhat accurate. They're not updating their software often. Maybe they're updating it like 2 or 3 times a year, but people change numbers, they change locations. A lot of things change over the years. So it may be pretty decent. You might have like a 50 to 60% accuracy rate with those free websites. Then you got those paid ones. One off the top of my head that's really popular is Been Verified. Now, with Been Verified, it's pretty accurate. I would say personally, from my personal experience, I would say you got like 70 to 80% accuracy with Been Verified. Again, I don't think Been Verified actually polls as often from all different types of sources. Definitely not daily, I can tell you that. But they probably poll, maybe every 2 or 3 months they're polling and getting people's data, which is still pretty good. And it's fairly cheap for the price that they charge. And then you got other softwares. I think Tracers is one that comes to mind. Tracers, you have to call them because they have an expensive package for like $100 or $200 a month, pretty expensive, down to like you can spend $10 to get set up, and then they charge you $1.50 per skip trace. And you're probably thinking, whoa, but that's still expensive. But here's the deal: how many deals do you actually need to close? Like if you're trying to make like 10 grand, 20 grand, we're talking like what, 4 or 5 deals, maybe 10 max. Okay, so what's 10 times $1.50? You do the math and it just makes sense. You're not spending a lot of money or overhead on a software for your business. I've spent a lot more. I've spent like $400 or $500 for one software in previous businesses that I owned. And that was nothing. It was really because that software was bringing me in thousands of extra dollars. So it was worth it. So this $1.50 that you're spending, if it's going to turn around and it's going to create you an income of a couple $1,000, even a couple $100, it just makes sense mathematically. So don't get so hung up on the number. All right. But you also want to make sure you're doing your due diligence. Don't just stop at the quality software. The next thing you want to do, maybe check some public record. There's some states, Georgia comes to mind. If you go to the Georgia Energy website, that's a public domain, and you can type in a person's name and you can get some information off a public website. So if that person is still paying bills at that address, You know, you type in the address and someone's name comes up on who's paying bills at that address, then you can start putting two to two together that they're actively paying for bills here. So maybe I can mail some letter. And I know a lot of you guys don't want to take the time to mail out letters, but let me tell you something. If you format that letter to where it looks official and looks appropriate and you mail it out to their home, let me tell you, people might respond. At the very least, they're going to be getting phone calls and voicemails and text messages and now mail. Now they're going to be like, okay, this person must really be trying to get a hold of me. So yeah, let me go ahead and answer them. The next thing, social media. You guys, I'm giving you all the goods here. This is all like free game for you to start making money with your business. You don't even have to be in my academy, you know, to learn how to make money off of my YouTube channel. Like I'm trying to give you guys as much value as possible so you can start making money, okay? But social media. Now, I got this social media strategy that I teach in my course, and I call it like the monster follow-up. Now, I don't want to get into too much detail with that because that will take a whole hour for me to break down all the small little pieces. But monster follow-up aside, start hitting people up on social media. Look them up. Look up the cities that they might be in. See if they got any like relatives or connections. No, don't just friend them. Friend their family members. So then when they see your friend request pop up, they're like, oh, I must know him because this person knows all my children and they know all my relatives. Okay, they know my friends. We must be connected. So on social media, they connect with you, and that's when boom, you jump in that inbox. You're like, hey, what's up? I got some good news for you. You know, plain and simple. And then lastly, different websites. I have one of my coaching clients. She came to me and she's striking a deal. It's going to bring her home probably a little over 10K off one deal, 10K. And what she told me was, Joe, this person was so hard to find, but I was determined to do it. I was following all the steps from the course. And she's like, but you know what? I have a membership with Ancestry.com. I went on that site and I did a search on Ancestry.com and I found that person. And I found some relatives and I was able to narrow my search down and get a hold of the person's grandchild, which in turn put me in touch with the person I was looking for. I mean, it's really just thinking outside the box. Most people who do this business that actually fail and never seem to make a deal, they only close like 1 or 2 deals a month and they can't find themselves closing more than that. It's just because they're just dialing for dollars. They're cold calling. I never cold call. Like that, it's a complete no-go. There's a really good book I want you to download, and this is something that really changed the game for me. It's called Smart Calling. Okay, so again, I'm just throwing some more free game out there for you, but I think it's important that we feed each other this knowledge because a lot of you guys out there, when you end up joining programs like mine, I learned from my students too. Because you all are doing all kinds of research on your own. And then when you come into like my network of masterminds, well, we share knowledge together. It's a knowledge exchange. It's not just like, oh, everything comes from coach. Like, no, we're all sharing and combining. We all partner on deals. It's awesome. You know, like it's really one of those things where it's like, we all grow together versus one person being that wealth of knowledge. So it's an awesome opportunity for people to get to know each other and cross network. It's great. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's my video. I just want to come on here real quick and just share some awesome insight and some tips on how you guys can make your business more profitable so you can actually see more success. And hopefully one day, someday, we cross paths and we can exchange some knowledge. Until then, guys, I'll see you in the next video. How to skip trace, right? And okay, social media. So sometimes you get people. Forgot what I was talking about. Cut.